Hello everyone, I'm back. And after the huge success that was my 2015 Ninjago video part 1, I decided it's finally time I make a part 2 and review Possession. And believe me, I have some pretty strong opinions about Possession, so you're gonna listen to them in this video because today we're gonna decide if 2015 is the best year for Ninjago. Part freaking 2. So a lot of people think this is the best season for Ninjago, and I don't get it. For some reason, some people purely think season 5 is good just because of Maro. Obviously, some people like it for other reasons, some people are more reasonable, but for some reason, Maro seems to be the biggest attraction for this season. And I do have a couple problems with him. The biggest one is that he's a copy of Tai Lung from the first Kung Fu Panda, and Ninjago has taken inspiration for some things before, but Moro's story is almost the exact same as Tai Lung. Just it's kind of annoying, gets kind of predictable. The other problem is that Marl doesn't really fit the Ninjago mold, and this is a weird complaint because Marl feels more like a villain of the week for a villain of the week type show instead of a full villain like main bad guy, and they even have to pair him up with Preeminent because he's not that menacing. He's not as strong and menacing as Nadaken, for example, and is not as smart and manipulative as Harumi, so I just feel like he's kinda overrated. In season 12 they do something similar with Unagami, except he works because he can stand on his own 2 feet and doesn't really need something like the preeminent, so he's much better in that way. And speaking about the preeminent, it's like one of the dumbest things Ninjago has ever done. It just doesn't make sense at all. This is so freaking dumb. First of all, why does a realm have a physical form? Where does the physical form go when it's not on Ninjago? Where was it the whole time then? And is it a ghost? Is it not a ghost? It doesn't seem like a ghost. The ninja can touch it whenever they want to. It literally destroys buildings, but it's also affected by water, which is a ghost exclusive feature, which it's kind of weird. I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about it because my brain is freaking melting, but my solution is to delete it and just make Morrow better. Another complaint about the villains is that I don't like the idea of Morrow possessing Lloyd for the whole season, because they can do the thing where it's like the main character is I can't hurt my friend even if he's evil and all that, but they just kinda get over that pretty quickly. So basically, you're blocking Lloyd from getting development on a Lloyd season. That's kind of weird. So Lloyd and Morrow end up fighting, and Lloyd needs to be the one to take out Morrow because people would complain if Morrow just possessed him for the whole season and then Lloyd did nothing. But on the other side, Lloyd didn't develop at all in this season, so when they try to give him the spotlight, he doesn't have anything to go off of. Then Lloyd's just stealing the focus, and then the season's ruined, you know what I mean? It's just very hard to pull it off. Make Lloyd be possessed the whole season. It's just conceptually broken. And that's something I can say a lot about this season, which is obviously not a very good thing. For example, they brought a character from a Nintendo 3DS game, which was extremely confusing as a kid, so that's a really bad idea. And also they gave the ninja power to fly, which is really them. It's obviously super overpowered, so they had to just trade off. And also we had a Chima crossover, which was cancelled right after, so it led to nothing. And the Cloud Kingdom is like the worst idea. I'm saying worst a lot, but I might mean it this time. They somehow thought it was a good idea to have everything in Ninjago just be written by some random bums, and it's just that everything in Ninjago is just bound to happen. That makes for a really boring story. Just that something's gonna happen because the writers decided it's very, very bad. But anyway, now that we have the main rant out of the way, let's talk about characters because this season sure does have them. So let's talk about the worst to the best. First, Lloyd, he's just not in this season for the most part until the end, where he just steals the spotlight, so not very good. Zane is often played for laughs in this season. I can't think of a good Zane moment in this season, so he's probably the second worst. Jay is also played for laughs, but at least he's not annoying like Zane in this season, so he's fine. He's okay. Cole transforms into a ghost, but doesn't really do much with that, but at least that's something, so I guess it's better. And taking a huge jump in quality, Kai is really, really cool in this season. We get to see his relationship with Lloyd, at least for the first half. The problem with Kai is that for the first half, he's really good and really funny and really interesting, and then for the second half, he's just kind of there. But he's definitely better than the other ninja. And finally, Nia! The Samurai X finally transforms into the water ninja. And I didn't like that at first, but then I kinda got used to it and I understood what it meant for Nia's character and for Nia's arc, and I like her arc in this season just in general. It's not perfect, it's definitely outshined by Seabound, but I'd still say she's the best ninja in this season. And note I said ninja because the best character in this season is Ronan. And I just love this character all around. He's dynamic with Nia, he's definitely the best part and just the best part of the season in general. He's also pretty funny. He's one of the funniest characters in this season because in general this season lacks a lot in comedy. I love how he's the only Ninjago character that's actually an anti-hero, and he works pretty well in that along with season 6. I think he's also pretty good in that season. He declines later, but in season 5, I'd say he's really, really good. And probably the best part of the season, probably the thing that saves the season the most. A lot of things are average to bad, but Ronan is so good. I'd also say this season does a really good job with pacing, like introducing Morrow and making him a bigger threat with the preeminent. And as much as I don't like how they handle the preeminent, and I'm not the biggest fan of Morrow, I will admit they do a good job just spreading things out and making the pacing feel really good. There is that one decoy episode, which is what I call when a character is looking for a MacGuffin and then turns out in the end of the episode that it wasn't there all along, except they do a pretty good job handling it because they warn you it isn't there in the first place. And the story still advanced even if we didn't find the MacGuffin. So, to end the video, I'd give Ninjago Season 5 Possession a 5 out of 10.